Hi, welcome to Witching Hour Tarot. Really excited about joining the collective here today and getting something out online on YouTube to see what resonates with everyone. Just a little background about me. I've been reading tarot for about 5 years, maybe 6 now at this point. So pretty familiar with the deck and then also the combinations. And more or less, it's a huge hobby for me. I really love it. I have a bunch of decks, but I'm going to start with these 3 today. I have Tarot of Sexual Magic, I have Tarot of the Divine, and then I have the classic Rider White deck. So I'm just going to go into my reading and see what resonates with y'all and let me know, and I hope that we're able to connect at some point. So I did shuffle the cards and prepare the space as well as clear the energy. So let's see what's going on in the collective. What is going on in the collective? All right. I might need to. I'm a decent enough shuffler, but I might need to practice a little bit more. All right, what's going on in the collective? All right, so we did have some cards fall out. We have the 8 of Swords, and then we have the 9 of Cups. So that's very contrastual energy. The 8 of Swords is more or less like it's a victimization kind of card. So someone who's continuously victimizing themselves in their situation. If you can see, this person is wrapped, but in I don't know what that is, like some sort of cloth or whatever. Their eyes are closed, but they're surrounded by no one, which is interesting. There's kind of like a castle far out in the distance, but this kind of the swords, when they get to like 7, 8, 9, 10, is more or less like self-inflicted kind of pain that you go through because you're stuck in these cycles of victimization or betrayal or not speaking up for yourself. So interesting that this came out, but even more interesting that the 9 of Cups contrasts it. This is a card of abundance, a card of kind of having all your 9 cups filled. You can see the gentleman there is very happy, very content, arms crossed. He's in a position of power, a position of negotiation, can really kind of pick and choose what he wants to do with his life. And then these are kind of contrastual signs as well. So swords are air signs, so Gemini, Aquarius, Libra. And then cups are water signs, which is Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. So I'm happy to see the contrast here. We'll get some clarification on that, but let's see our other 2. Typically when I read, I do a spread of 5 cards and I have clarifiers within that. I kind of get the general gist by asking what's going on with the collective. And this kind of breaks down the energy. So next we do have the 5 of Cups, which is a card of, typically of disappointment, not necessarily being left out in the cold, but also a change in perspective. 5 signifies changes and, shifting. So this kind of plays into the theme of the 8 of Swords. I do see, again, victimization here and disappointment. So let's see, what else do we have? A lot of water energy. Alrighty. So this is really great to see this positive. This is the 10 of Pentacles. It's nice to have this air and water energy contrasted again with earth energy, very stable, very consistent. This is kind of like the ultimate abundance card. Great that we have a 9 and a 10 here. So sort of like, it's kind of like you're at the last step of getting someplace. You know, you're at like kind of, I don't want to say like a tower moment, but you're at the moment where you know, you kind of have two minds about everything. You have two minds about your past, two minds about what you've been through, but at the same time, you also just want to have negotiating power of all the things that have happened to you, and let it all go. Let it all go to find your 10 of Pentacles. So that's what I see here in the initial kind of minor arcana of the reading. And then my fifth card is what I like to say, like the main energy of it all. I do it last because I think just seeing how the smaller energy pieces play out first gives me a better idea. So here we are. So this is the Seven of Swords. So this is like kind of the ultimate deception card. You know, as I said earlier, like when we get into the 7, 8, 9, 10s of the swords, it's really kind of self-inflicted reasons why you're in this kind of issue or predicament or whatever you might be experiencing at that time. So it's kind of like, you know, you have power here to change your situation. You have power here to transcend your current thought process and really become who you are fated to be, make your own destiny. But the overall energy here is the Seven of Swords. So either, you know, that's you or that's someone that you've dealt with. But at the same time, if you're dealing with these like toxic people who, you know, are deceptive, who are sneaky, you know, whatever they might do, like cunning or, you know, conniving, like if you have the right boundaries in place, you could totally avoid these people. You could not have to deal with them by having the right boundaries and protecting yourself. On the other hand, if this is you, you know, it's kind of like we're in this transcending moment of like, I'm just so sick of being stuck in the same situation again and again and again and again, and I'm a victim of it all. Yes, we are victims. Everyone here on this planet is a victim, you know, but the thing about, you know, becoming more spiritually aware is that the hardest lessons that you have to learn, disappointingly enough, is you have to be accountable for things that happen to you that are not your fault. It's really hard to kind of grasp, especially when you're in, you know, you're sitting in pain. But some people are never going to be accountable for what they did to you. Maybe because they don't think they did anything wrong, maybe because they're in denial, maybe because they, you know, they don't know any better, whatever reason. But if you've been harmed here, if you've had something happen to you and you're still stuck, you know, after some time, it only becomes your fault. You know, there's only so many things we can control in the world, and our perspective and our attitude is one of the things that we have the most control over. So find your negotiating power here. You see how that man's arms crossed? He's like, I know you want one of my cups. I've spent a lot of time building all, you know, pouring all these cups. You're not just going to take them away from me. You know, so kind of going back to, you know, my thoughts on boundaries. You have to have boundaries with people, and these types of people in particular, because they're not used to it. And that's the only way, honestly, they're going to learn. So great reading. A lot of air energy. We have a lot of air and water energy, so contrastal energy and a little bit of earth. Next, I'm going to go into the Tarot of Sexual Magic. This deck I actually really like. I love working with it too, because I feel like it just kind of adds a new perspective on tarot. I love when any artist can kind of do their own original imagery. There's so many decks online that have kind of just like been, redetailed, that are more or less the same as the Rider-Waite deck. But I love when someone can be super creative and kind of encompass their own ideas of divination and the symbology within tarot. So, and this deck also adds like a super romantic 50 Shades of Grey edge to everything. And I like the undertone of sexual energy because, at the end of the day, we are just animals with instinctual urges to procreate. So everything that we more or less do is to increase our likelihood, or increase our, our genealogy. I'm sure that's contestable, but just on a tangent of why I like the tarot sexual magic. So let's see. This is what's going on with the collective. Let's get a clarification for, there's some fire in here. King of Wands. So King of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sag energy. I love how this is kind of like, the Knight of Wands. I love how this is kind of like the knight in shining armor. Wands are passion. They're the artists, the poets, the writers, the musicians of the world, people who are motivated by passion and their passion for life. And you can see he's just kind of carrying off his young lady to like on horseback, wherever they might be going. But a really great, fiery clarification to the Eight of Swords. Kind of like, grabbing the horse by the reins, or grabbing the bull by the horns, and, taking charge here. Who wants to be stuck like this their whole freaking life? And there are so many people who just go through life stuck like this, and angry, and resentful, and not stuck in these cycles of not getting what they want. So really nice clarification here. All right, so Nine of Cups. Let's see. Let's get a clarifier. Ten of Pentacles. So the second time we have the Ten of Pentacles coming out. I love when I see dual cards in a reading and they're totally from different decks, or the same card from different decks in the same reading. It's really a clarification of the energy in place here, but there's definitely abundance, loveliness, everything that you'd want, like the white picket fence, happy families, growing old, generational wealth, like there's potential here for that, for sure, 100%. And you see how this gentleman here is kind of just in awe of her body. When you reach that level of abundance, people, like, even if you don't tell anyone what you have, even if no one knows, like, everyone, you just have this magnetic energy to you that attracts everyone because you're just so comfortable. You're so secure in yourself. So I love seeing this energy here, really kind of contrasting the negativity associated with this, nightmare here. All right, let's move forward. So what's clarifying the Five of Cups? Another Knight of Pentacles. So the Knight of Pentacles, this is, again, stability. Pentacles are about earth energy, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. So I really love this particular card, and you see he has a lemon in his hand. So I think in the original Rider-Waite deck, the gentleman is he's on horseback and he's holding a coin. So, some people really see this as like being an offer, but there's such playfulness to the lemon that he's trying to give her, like, what could she possibly do with that lemon? All kinds of things. She could make lemonade. She could, use it to spice her, or, marinate her fish, her meat. She can use it to bleach her hair. She could use it to clean her face. You know, the citric acid in lemon is very good for you, very good for your gut, you know. So there's a cleansing kind of playfulness here too, which is lovely to see when you've had, you know, all this disappointment in your life. You know, but at the same time, a lot of people, when they get stuck in this kind of disappointment, they get stuck again in this victim mentality, and they become like folks who just want to, you know, who know nothing else but taking from people. You know, so I'm sorry, I'm trying to get my card angle right. Who know nothing else but taking from people, because that's all people have done for them, to them. You know, they've just been taken advantage of and used and abused their whole life. So they walk around in this resentful energy, you know, trying to make sense of it all. And at the same time, like, this kind of is a self-sabotaging cycle where when you're in that victim mentality, you really don't approach things from a place of abundance and wanting to give to people. You know, like, you have to be able to give to people, you know, as small as it might be, as playful as it might be, in order to get this kind of 10 of cups, 10 of pentacles vibe. So I like that a lot here. There's a warmness to the cold, icy undertone for sure. So let's see what clarifies the 10 of Pentacles. Oh, now we have the High Priestess. So I love the High Priestess. I feel like, you know, if I resonated with anyone or any, you know, particular image in the tarot deck, it would be the High Priestess. And unfortunately, we don't really have any modern day archetypes that kind of encompass this. You know, nuns, I wouldn't say are equivalent to priestessship. You know, they're very learned, obviously, in classical theology or whatever it might be. But there's a whole other area of spiritual knowledge that I think was kind of like shushed out during the witch trials globally. And kind of being into that whole theory that we're afraid of women's divine power, what have you. But some folks see this as a Pisces card. Some see it as an Aries card. I really like that interpretation either way, because I feel like she kind of sits on, you know, the edge of light and dark, the edge of fire and water, very dreamy, very magical, very mysterious. So the divine's also at work here. There's so many things in your control, your attitude and your, you know, how you approach people and things is one of them. Your perspective is one of them. What happens to you can't control. Unfortunately, no one can control what happens to them, but they can control how they react. But with all that, there's still divine intervention at play here. Unseen forces, unspoken forces, forces that can't be described, a mystery to it all. You could be very, very knowledgeable about the esoteric or you know, any sort of strange, eclectic hobby. So this is a really nice, this is the only major arcana here thus far. So I love seeing this psychic, lovely, feminine, divine feminine energy here. All right, so let's see the final clarification here. The World. So I spoke a little too soon. Here is the second major arcana shown today in this particular reading. And you know that it's 21 in the major arcana, which is great. I really love this particular deck again because of the imagery and how it kind of has this romantic feel to it. The world is kind of, it's everything's cyclical. It all comes back around is kind of what encompasses the world. And all the mysteries of it and all the things we can't understand that aren't worth understanding, honestly, because all you really have is the present. You know, you can stay stuck like this forever. For your whole life, you can waste your life being stuck in this energy. But to look at the bigger picture, you need to look at the bigger picture. Even if someone treats you like this, even if you're deceived and betrayed and someone steals from you, or they break your heart, or, you know, they try to just take advantage of you, or if you've been that person before, you know, I'll put it into a bigger perspective here. It all comes back around, and that's kind of just like divine karma too. There's karma here for sure. Someone's got their dose of karma and they're crying about it, not, you know, upset, but not even at that transitional point where they're realizing that they have the power to change all of it. Someone tried to take away their power, your power, his power, her power, their power, everyone, you know. But it's all within us. If we can change our attitude and give a little bit, just a little, you know, you're gonna unlock something so divine. Like, this is such a divine combination here. The High Priestess with the world, you know, it's so dreamy, so mysterious, so just amazing, like luxurious kind of energy here. So let's get one more clarification, then we'll wrap it up. I'm going to pull these cards a little faster. I'm trying to keep my readings under 30 minutes. So this is the Tarot of the Divine. I bought this at Barnes & Noble, and another really great deck. And what I love about this deck is actually it references like fables and folk tales all over the world. So each card is its own depiction of that particular folk tale and how it resonates with the imagery of that major arcana or minor arcana. So let's see, what's clarifying the Eight of Swords to the Knight of Wands? We again have the Ten of Coins. So there's abundance here. I love that you have so much abundance coming for you. So much. Happy, happy dog. I wish I knew the exact background story, which you can see, like, happy as a dog. Like, you know, I'm pretty sure that's a colloquialism. So again, the potential is here. It's just in your power to change it. Let's see what's clarifying the Nine of Cups to the Ten of Pentacles. We have the Five of Wands. So this is a card of conflict. It would make sense that there is some conflict arising here after all this, you know, disappointment, victimization, what have you. But those were the only two negative cards, or the Seven of Swords as well. In this entire reading, there's a more positivity for sure than negativity within this reading. But with that, there's also conflict, you know. So these are like the darker forces that are coming for all of us. There's a Bible quote that I can't recite exactly, but it's not the flesh and blood, but it is the evil forces, the darkness of the world that we're fighting against. And, you know, more people have dark energy in them than others. But kind of also like the crab in a bucket metaphor. Like, you can put crabs in a bucket because whenever one tries to climb out, the others just pull it down. So this card really reminds me of that, you know, imagery. And it would make sense that it's coming here because it's not easy to kind of transcend, you know, being in shit, being in poo your whole life, and not knowing anything better. And there's going to be a lot of forces out here that think that they know better than you and feel entitled to tell you how to live your life. All right, so let's see what's clarifying this Five of Cups to the Knight of Pentacles. Page of Coins. So this is a really great innocent card. I think this is Nordic of some sort. You can see the elk there and the Nordic young lady with her pentacle. I think that Pentacles, I feel like, I don't want to say here, the pages I get a little, I sometimes I don't really know how to describe the pages, but they're kind of like the first initiation of becoming, you know, what everything is encompassed of that sign, like the King of Pentacles or the Queen of Pentacles, the stable energy, but also learning. You know, Pentacles are the lawyers, doctors, you know, the construction workers, the very stable folks that we come across in our lives. So there's stability here, and I love the growth from the page to the Knight of Pentacles in two different decks. So just keep kind of working for it. Keep chugging along. All right. Now let's see what's clarifying the Ten of Pentacles to the High Priestess. So here we have the Eight of Wands, and this is a communication card. This is swift communication. You know, we see this crow here coming in hot with his, you know, 7 other wands and then one in his mouth. This is to deliver a message. So a message is coming here, coming to you soon. Something's going to be very clear to you at one point or another, but there's definitely this fiery, hot energy here as well, coming in fast, contrasting all this stability here. Not necessarily, could be good or bad, but when you see it with the High Priestess and the Ten of Pentacles, most likely it's a good fate. It's good tidings. All right, and let's get one final clarification for the overall general reading for the collective. Eight of Cups. So this is Eight of Cups is a really great card as well. Kind of again contrasting that Eight of Swords originally, but typically I think that the Eight of Cups it also encompasses disappointment, but learnedness. You know, you're more learned. You had to work a little hard for your 8 cups. And you can see the person, like, you also get distracted from things that you think that were important, like the white picket fence, you know, or getting married, having children, you know, it was important to you at one time, but now, you know, your wife hates you, your husband hates you, your kids won't speak to you, and you just keep on trying to be a better person, a better, you know, and it's like kind of like you've made the wrong choices in your life. You have all these 8 cups, but still feel like you're missing something. So I really like this reading. Really great to kind of get this out in the collective. Gonna try to post a couple readings a week, see how you're gonna feel things out, see how things go. But love, light, and blessings to all of you.